Hey guys, it's your favorite bioethicist and postmodern human. Um and today I wanted to talk about kind of a controversial subject, or at least I think it is. And that's reproductive rights, specifically positive reproductive rights. And before getting into it, I just want to say, um, when I say positive reproductive rights, I'm not talking about the government owes me a state issued girlfriend or boyfriend. That's not what I'm talking about. This isn't 4chan. This isn't Jordan Peterson's channel. um, but no, when I say that, I just mean the opposite of the most talked about negative reproductive rights. You know the one I'm talking about. The one that allows women to end their birthing process. Yeah, and by the way, I also want to say on that, I think that a lot of the restrictions put in place by various states go way too far. Um, I think especially for emergencies, um, it should be in place. I don't know about any further than that, but definitely for those situations, it's really the blanket bans are. I don't even know what word to use to describe them, but they're just far from ideal, and I think it's terrible that those things are being passed. Um, but and both sides leave this out because I think this issue is one of the few issues, especially among women, that's pretty bipartisan. Um, and I feel like I can talk about this because what I'm about to talk about specifically implicates the lives of disabled individuals, and that's the fact that a lot of these activists, these people that advocate for that negative um reproductive right or negative reproductive rights generally um don't do enough to also advocate for the positive reproductive rights of certain minorities. Um and in their arguments, a lot of them are basically say that, like, oh, no one would ever want to have a disabled child or something like that, and that there are no resources and stuff like that. I've heard that as an argument. People have if you open up any um bioethics book or read any of the opinion sections of whatever newspaper from whatever side, right? Whether you're talking about a right libertarian thing, left libertarian, liberal, conservative, whatever, you're gonna hear arguments like that, and I'm sorry, they're just wrong. There are a lot of resources, especially if you're white and middle class. There are tons of resources, man. But even if you're not, um, and the assumption that disabled life is somehow not worth living. That goes too far. Am I saying it's ideal? Of course not. Of course not. Am I saying that it doesn't have wide ranging effects on the family? Of course it does. Of course it does. I talked about, especially um in regards to how my brothers took care of me, and how that affected my views on what marriage would look like for me, or the lack of marriage. I'm not denying that at all, but to say then that therefore it's okay to just end the lives of a potentially disabled child, I'm sorry guys, but that's just wrong. And it shows also um a misunderstanding of history, because if these people that were using that argument would actually research stuff, they would see that for minorities such as myself, because I'm also Latino, man. I mean, I know I'm light skinned and stuff, but that doesn't matter whether light skinned or not. It's a historical fact that medical professionals from all sides of the political aisle in the past, whether they claim to be progressive or conservative or whatever, it doesn't matter, forcefully took away our capacity to reproduce without our consent. Um, this, and I'll leave resources in the description. I'm talking about Buck v. Bell, and but um, Carrie Buck was a white woman, but the thing is, her case served as the prototype for other states to essentially sterilize not only poor whites, but blacks, Latinos, and they also did that as a colonial project in Puerto Rico as well, and among the indigenous peoples. These are historical facts. Don't even get me started on Tuskegee, man. Um, but yeah, and it just gets me so mad that people use this argument and they don't know what type of harm it does to minority communities. With minorities, it's more important that our positive rights to reproduction are protected. And if you're wondering why among our communities there's a lot of mistrust of medical professionals, this is why. And advocates of negative reproductive rights and birth control need to do better um about how they approach the issue with minorities, because again, the United States has a long history of abridging our reproductive rights. Um, but as a final note, even just as recently as 2014, um, I forget which state exactly, but I'll leave the article in the description, was sterilizing female prisoners. Um, so yeah, I hope whoever comes upon this um is able to have a fuller picture, and sort of a more first-hand picture of the importance of not only negative reproductive rights but positive reproductive rights as well. And that's not even getting started on the social stigma which disabled people face. Anyway, thank you very much.